What's up, y'all? My name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. Got a good night's rest. Just woke up probably about 20 minutes ago. I have to go to work in about 3 or 4 hours. I said, fuck it. Not going to do anything as far as reviewing Raw tonight because obviously I can't with my schedule. I still have to give you guys an upload because in the end of the day, professional wrestling, for me, I still have a great love for it. In the end of the day, you guys do watch me because you want me to cover professional wrestling. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. Everything that I said last night was out of anger. Did I mean all of it? You absolutely goddamn right. You can bet your goddamn skibbity I meant everything I said last night. But in regards to reviewing AEW, in regards to reviewing professional wrestling as a whole, at least the mainstream companies that actually matter at the time, I will continue doing what my channel was made to do, which is review professional wrestling in a different context and in a different light compared to everybody else who just suckles on the bosom of fucking professional wrestling as if it's going to give it all its milk, and in reality it's rancid titty cancer milk. What happened last night, like I said, and I won't shade away from it, I won't run away from it. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on what the fuck I said was an abomination. That right there is why people look at professional wrestling fans and they think that we're all absolutely out of our minds. It's that kind of shit right there that make people go, what the fuck has professional wrestling become? When back in the days, we had guys like Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Miss Elizabeth, Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Austin, Rock, Taker, Triple H. It wasn't a joke for the sake of being a joke. You can have skits, because I think I'm going to see people say things like, well, Devontae, professional wrestling can't be fun. You can't take the drawing angles. You can't take the money-making angles. You can't take your legitimate stars and put them in an actual position to look like fucking clowns. In the manner of how you did it last night, in that position. Now, if you want to run a skit, if you want to run an angle, I have no problem with that. But to take your main event story, to take your main event angle, and legit make a complete mockery out of your fucking company, make a complete mockery out of the angle that you're putting across for the rest of your audience to watch, it's nothing more than a slap in the face to everybody who has paved the road for you to have an opportunity to put across main events. Main event angles in the past have paved the road for you to have the opportunity to do what they did that you made a complete mockery over. That's what they did. Say all you want to that Devontae, you're taking this shit way too seriously. Well, guess what? You're not taking it seriously enough. And if you don't, cool. We're not the same person. I don't give a shit what names people call me. Like I said, growing up, professional wrestling, it's all I had. I can tell you right now, from the year 2000 all the way up until maybe 2006, 2007-ish, that's all I literally had. That's it. Maybe up to 2005. I'll probably say 2005. I got my first girlfriend in 2006. I think 2005. From 2000 to 2005, that's all I had. Literally. Family was in complete disarray. You know, moving back and forth to different cities within Florida, having to go through hardships and struggles. The only thing that was consistent in my life was professional wrestling. And to see what they take, that literally what I had. Like, can you imagine having a teddy bear and, you know, you had that teddy bear since you were 3 or 4 years old and you took care of that teddy bear. That teddy bear symbolizes a lot of comfort in your life growing up. And even if you're 70 or 80 years old and you haven't touched that teddy bear in over 50 years, even though that teddy bear sits right there on top of your closet and no one bothers it at all, if your house burnt down and someone were to tell you that teddy bear was in that house, even though you haven't touched it in over 50 years, that teddy bear that you probably held on to through the toughest times in your life, and your house burnt down with that teddy bear inside it, you're gonna feel some type of way. Don't say you won't, you will feel some type of way. That's exactly how I feel about professional wrestling. No matter how I feel about professional wrestling today, like I said, outside of my family, when it comes to my hobbies, it's my number one thing, and it will never, ever be replaced. To the degree that I actually have somewhat of a name, a very, very small name, but a name nonetheless on the internet because of professional wrestling, because of what professional wrestling provided. Hell, who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, it might even provide for me financially. You never know. We'll get there when we get there. But my point being is, professional wrestling is all that I had at one point. And it's something that I will always hold fondly. I will always hold within my own body It has made me emotional in more ways than one. And if you don't take it that seriously, kudos to you. Happy. Shalom. Live your life. What do you want me to tell you? I'm not you. You're not me. The things that they did in this match last night. So start off from the beginning as far as the build. So you mean to tell me all this time? Because I think, honestly, this is even worse. This is even worse than the fucking Undisputed Kingdom nonsense, right? And what the hell that turned out to be, which is a complete and utter joke, to the degree that I don't even think MJF is even going to focus anymore on the Undisputed Kingdom. I think he just did that just to put a bow tie on it, to get himself involved with the whole AEW elite angle. I think he just did that just so it wouldn't look so, because it's already bad enough that Tony Khan is called so many names rightfully deserved. The last thing you want to call him is inconsistent and have outright dead to rights proof with MJF. I mean, you have outright dead to right proofs on any other situation, but at least you don't want that tied up to the main angle, right? So I get why he did it. It's stupid. It was dumb. It's an embarrassment because, I mean, you wasted all our time for these past couple of months in the later part of last year just to get what the Undisputed Kingdom ended up being. It is what it is. But if you don't believe that the elite angle is heading down that path, or they aren't headed down that path, did you not watch the match last night? Did you not watch the build towards the match? So you had all the stuff with Tony Khan. You had all the stuff with Kenny Omega. That was the crux of the story, mind you, 3 weeks ago. Right? A month ago, 3 weeks ago. We built up in the last 2 weeks to what? To what? What was the... I can understand FTR, right? There's a lingering feeling as to what happened with FTR. Why is Bryan Danielson involved in this outside of the fact that he is a guy that represents AEW? You couldn't find anybody a lot better to be closely associated with the match? Take away that for a minute. Darby Allin, I get it. He was just filling in for Eddie Kingston. That's a better excuse. I completely understand. But that's what I mean when I say it would have probably helped out a lot if you would have produced the angle happening throughout the night that gave us a satisfying conclusion going into the show in itself, which they didn't do any of because they were too focused playing the equity game with all the other matches. Trust me, they got their fill. If you did your job correctly, you could have done an angle and then ran promos for some of those matches if you did your fucking jobs correctly. But again, Tony Khan, he can't breathe, chew gum, rub his stomach, and walk all at the same time. He can't even do 3 out of the 4 at the same time. He can't do 2 out of the 4 at the same time. Hell, I doubt that he could do 1 out of the 4 at the same time. And that includes breathing. So, the lack of the build for the show absolutely stunk. We got that. And then you get into the match in itself, and you have the audacity with this angle that's supposed to get you out of the gutter. This is what you're betting everything on right now to put AEW back into a prominent spot. You take it and you make it an absolute fucking clown show. That's all you can say. And for everybody's gonna probably be like, Devontae, well, didn't you react somewhat positively to Anarchy in the Arena the past couple of years? Here's 2 things. 1, the feuds in itself at the very least made sense. Granted, I still didn't like... No, I've never outright fucking praised Anarchy in the Arena. If you want to hold me accountable to things like, for an example, Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page, or maybe Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley last year, that I would take, and I would stand by those matches, because at the very least, the feuds, albeit I would definitely say maybe they went a little bit too far, granted, because the feuds probably didn't merit the violence in those 2 matches, they were still heated, contested feuds, right? They still went back and forth for at least a few months before they culminated in the kind of match that they culminated in. Again, strong argument can be made that it was a bunch of nonsense in those matches too, and I understand. I get it. I wouldn't look at that and say to myself, well, you know what? You're wrong. You're wrong. But there was no goofiness, okay? It was just a bunch of unnecessary violence. There was no goofiness attached to it. The rivalries in themselves merited everything that actually happened in the match in itself, right? At least to a certain degree. Like I said, some spots no. But the actual idea of the match, even then, I'm probably giving it too much credit for that also. But did any of those matches have music playing throughout the fucking show and then stopping? Because even the music, I can at least say to myself, the one time it happened with Jon Moxley a few years ago, it was pretty cool. They just happened to start brawling and they didn't have time to turn off the music. Perfect explanation. Now you do it the second year, it's fucking goofy and it's running its course. Now you're doing it now and it's just like, it's not just have run its course, Now you're making a mockery out of professional wrestling with what the fuck you're doing. So you're playing the theme song, then you stop, and then the Bucks are like, play our theme song. And then fucking Brian Danielson says, stop it, play the final countdown. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, we do know that there are something that is seriously at stake. Oh, wait, no, because that's another problem also. What was the consequences and rewards for participating in the match like this? Why? Why did the Elite have to agree to do a match like this? Why? What was the stipulation as to what would happen if the fan favorites were to lose? Why? What was the consequences outright if AEW... Actually, I think they were... Wait, didn't they have consequences? I'm trying to think to myself right now. Was there legitimate consequences? Let me look this up real quick. Because I don't even know. Hang on. Maybe it's best, because I don't remember them talking about any consequences. AEW Double or Nothing 2024. I'm trying to think. Let me look. Hang on. No notes. No nothing. No. There were no consequences or rewards to winning this match. There was no disbanding the Elite. There were no, they would get fired or their contracts would be over or something along the lines of that. None of that. None of the, like, maybe the guys could be banished from AEW Dynamite or they have to take a paid leave of absence. Nothing. It was just the match that happened for the sake of happening. And then you took that match for the sake of happening with no consequences. The build is a complete, utter fucking joke. The match that ties in with it is a complete and utter fucking joke. And then you put that over your world champion, Swerve Strickland. So you buried Swerve Strickland as a priority, being the world champion, to give us this. Literally, it was an exhibition match. Literally, it was just Tony Khan saying, I want to have a match before I go to work. Let me pop in my CD. Oh, look, there's a new match type. I didn't know this existed. Let me play it. Oh, let me pick some of these guys to play inside this match because they have a cool moveset. Let me do this match. That's what it was. There was no rhyme, no reason as to why it fucking occurred. And that no rhyme and no reason took precedent over your world champion. Not just the pay-per-view, but the entire build of your world champion in his first title defense, which I will never forgive them over. That's a disgrace. They should be ashamed of themselves. As a matter of fact, I'll put it to you this way. Call me crazy. Maybe I'm the one tripping at the moment. This year, right? And I could be wrong. Actually, no, I know I'm not wrong. I know for a fact I'm not wrong. I think Revolution was the first pay-per-view this year, right? You want to hear something fucking crazy? You want to hear how Tony Khan treats his world champion? Let me see if I'm not tripping real quick. No, the main event was Sting, right? That's fine. It's his retirement match, right? That makes sense. That makes sense. Dynasty. I think that's the only show. Yep. And then you go to the next show, which is Double or Nothing, right? Right? Double or Nothing? Yep. You do realize, and I get it, in the end of the day, only 3 shows took place this entire year, right? But I'll do you one better. Not just this year, but in the last... Let's go back again, actually. Let me see. Dynasty. Revolution. World's End. Let's take World's End into context also if you want to do that. Full Gear, right? If it's Full Gear, we're going to take that one into context too? Can we do that? Wait, when was the triple threat match? Didn't they have a triple threat match for the World Championship, or am I tripping? Right? I can't be tripping here. It was Swerve Strickland versus am I tripping? Didn't we have a pay-per-view like that when it was Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, and MJF, or Swerve Strickland, Samoa Joe, and Heyman Adam Page in a triple threat match? I'm looking that up right now. I know I'm not tripping. That match actually did fucking happen, right? However, there was a draw. Okay, Swerve Strickland turned face. Kenosuke. Wait, what? I know I'm not tripping. Wait, hang on. Oh, that was on Revolution in itself, right? Okay, so that's even fucking better. That actually adds more to my point that I was going to say. So that was this year alone. Okay, so that's even cooler. So let's just say this year. Although you could say the next. Let's just say this year. From January to now, the World Championship has not main evented the show more times than the World Championship did main event the show. They main evented one. And granted, it's only been 3 pay-per-views. But you can also look at the regular shows also as far as what took place in those shows. You know? I don't remember the World Championship. I think the only 2 times I remember the World Championship even being in the main event this entire year, I think I remember Joe and Hook in the main event, if I'm not mistaken. And and Swerve and Joe at Dynasty. That's it. There were more shows that had the World Championship on the line, not main event, than shows with the World Championship on the line, main eventing. But that just goes to show you when I say that this company is a fucking embarrassment and that it doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. Now, if you had an NWO type of angle, even then I will say to myself, no, because if you don't believe Swerve to be that guy, then take the belt off of him and put it on someone within the Elite. If for nothing else, have Swerve feud with the Elite. That's what I've been saying for the longest, right? That's what I've been saying for the longest. And you take all of that and you put it to the side, and then you look at the match in itself from last night, the entrance music, as I talked about earlier, the stuff that was happening throughout the match with the attempted murders on multiple occasions, like fucking Darby Allin almost getting ran over, because why? It's really that fucking deep. Apparently Darby Allin hasn't been back for 2 weeks, but apparently he's gonna get ran over by Jack Perry, right? More attacking to Tony Khan makes no sense. I mean, he got attacked the first time. You know, he's back now, right? So why is he allowing Jack Perry to just run roughshod? Right? I can understand to a certain degree the Young Bucks being immune, which still makes no sense, because again, I don't know what court in their right mind will allow this to occur. Again, you fired CM Punk, was admittedly an EVP, a guy who legitimately ran Collision for the most part. They called him a consultant, but in reality, dude had about as much power as the EVPs, right? And you got rid of him, both of his contracts. He got fired from easily, and he just yelled at you. But these guys put their hands on you multiple times. One of them, by the way, they don't even have a position as an EVP. You can fire him. The Young Bucks can tell the story and rehire him, but you can fire him. You haven't even done that. You can't even make an attempt to do something like that. That makes too much sense for your stupid ass company. And then just everything else attached to it. The running over, the flamethrower, just fucking dumb. Everything about this was fucking dumb. The hanging people upside down and super kicking them multiple times with thumbtack boots. It's all stupid. It's all stupid fucking behavior. And I've had it up to here with AEW as far as being charitable. Like I said, I owe it to you guys to watch the show, to review the show. I owe it to my channel. You know, I'm not going to sit here and play stupid and pretend I'm being some kind of martyr here. AEW brings views to my channel. I'm not stupid. And I'm going to be the first person to say that I outright acknowledge that. Again, I'm not going to pretend that happens to not be the case. But goddamn it, I can tell you right now, I make no money from this. So views, in the end of the day, they're just views. I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. If it gets 1,000, if it gets 500 views, if it gets 10,000 views, doesn't matter in the end of the day, because I make no money from this to begin with. But I would definitely say that I would be hard pressed to say that no. I'd be lying if I didn't say that AEW doesn't bring views to the channel, and that I don't review AEW at the behest of my own fucking mental health, because it does bring views to my channel. Not gonna run from that. That'd be stupid, and I'm not gonna insult your intelligence by pretending that does not happen to be the case. But I can definitely tell you also, I could definitely look at the product and I can say that they don't bring anything to the table. I can look at what they are currently doing at the moment, and I can say that their biggest angle, their biggest get, that all they had to do was just take seriously. You could have implemented the world champion within that, made the world champion bigger than it's ever been at the period of your company, and you throw it all away, all in jest, for no reason whatsoever. And to make matters much worse, now that MJF is back, I can only presume, again, that you did all this stuff to kind of get rid of the Undisputed Kingdom as far as them being in the rear view. You did all this just to have MJF feud with the Elite. I wouldn't even be surprised if you bring the Undisputed Kingdom within the Elite. I wouldn't even be surprised if MJF does feud with them for a little bit. He might even go into blood and guts going up against the Elite. And then you kind of revisit the whole thing again with Adam Cole, just to kind of build up going into Wembley. Now, that's my belief. That's what I think is going to happen in the end of the day. This is just an excuse to write off the Undisputed Kingdom for the time being, and eventually you're gonna you're gonna revisit it again, and you're gonna go back and you're gonna have this match at Wembley. That's exactly what's gonna happen. I get it. I completely understand. Makes sense. Make all the sense in the fucking world. But my only thing is, and this is just my opinion. Hold up for a second. I just thought I seen a lizard eat another lizard. What the fuck? No, but my thing is though, why even give this company? I'm not gonna be charitable anymore. I think that's the best way to say it. I'm not gonna be charitable. I used to be like, let's just wait and see. I used to be like, oh well, let's just kind of take a little bit of a curve. And no, this goes for professional wrestling as well. This is just an AEW thing. Last night really awoken me. It really opened up my eyes that professional wrestling is a fucking joke nowadays. And yes, WWE may get caught with stray bullets from this evaluation. I would definitely say that they're nowhere near, not even fucking close, the kind of joke that AEW happens to be. But I would definitely say maybe there's an opportunity. There's probably going to be a chance that this type of rethinking as far as how I'm going to view my professional wrestling in today's day and age, that WWE is going to catch some straight bullets, because I'm done with the foolishness. I'm done with being charitable. I'm done with having to, well, let me tiptoe a little bit so I don't hurt anyone's feelings. No, fuck you people. Fuck you people. I don't give a shit. You don't like it, go to Tumblr. You don't like it, stay on Twitter. Get the fuck off the channel. My evaluation as far as how I'm going to look at professional wrestling is going to be completely different going forward. Anarchy in the arena, awoken the beast. And this beast needs to feed. And I guess your emotions are going to be what gets me through a full course meal 3 times a day. So if you don't like it, if you don't like the fact that every little small thing I'm going to fucking call out, whether it's Dynamite, whether it's fucking Collision, whether it's fucking Rampage, whether it's SmackDown, whether it's Raw, whether it's NXT, get the fuck off the channel. I'm going to hurt your feelings. And honestly, you cry, I'm just going to laugh at you. Because fuck you. I mean, fuck my professional wrestling, so fuck you. That's my attitude going forward. Fuck you. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces. P. Ice.